Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
There's no feeling quite like it. Minnesota week in Duval. A hero's welcome expected for Cam Robinson. Well, they'll roll out the red carpet. Also, Josh Oliver receiving game balls. He was the most timid player I have ever seen since covering Jaguars training camp in 1996 on that practice field. A new opportunity. He's had a couple of different addresses, made a big-time reception for a touchdown in Minnesota. Comes in this weekend. It should be interesting. I mean, this state is very reactive, right? You want great things. You want entertainment. You'll pay all sorts of money for entertainment, which is good. When entertainment is bad, you go away. And I'm sure that's the case all across the country. But I can certainly circle it here in our state. Just look at Tallahassee last weekend. I mean, my goodness, the pockets of seats that were open and available. I mean, word has been spoken. That is an awful product, right? And you're not going to spend the money, even if you have spent the money. Still costs an arm and a leg to pack up, get there, go through the parking, go through everything else to watch a team that has gone south, has quit, is not putting forth the effort, is not playing hard for their coach, and frankly, again, it's just a really bad product. Now, we had a game here 2 weeks ago against Green Bay. That place was half-packed with Packers fans. Packers fans are elite. They're in a category with only a few others. I put them up there with certainly Pittsburgh. Minnesota? I don't know. Minneapolis, St. Paul? Fairly good tradition going back into the 70s with Bug Grant and Fran Tarkington and the Purple People Eaters. Can I get a Carl Eller? Can I get an Alan Page? Who's the guy who ran the... Jim Marshall. Ladies and gentlemen, he's running the wrong way. How does that happen? I mean, marijuana wasn't even legal back in the 1970s. But anyway, Minnesota, pretty decent tradition. I look at it more as kind of a hockey town. I've been there. It's a baseball town. I don't know. I don't think they'll draw. Even though they're a playoff team, I'd be surprised if all of a sudden you look out there and see, 12, 15,000 Minnesota Vikings fans. And this product is bad. It's not as bad as the one you have in Tallahassee. They get blown out every week at Florida State. Your Jacksonville Jaguars have lost 5 games by 5 points or less. They're in it. They're a one-possession type of football team. But you can already read the script. You and I know what's going to happen, right? And this, I think, unfortunately, is going to keep some people home for the game coming up Sunday at 1. I never subscribe to that. I would never be one to tell you not to go, not to support. Those who have listened for a very long time, I do appreciate. I'm incredibly supportive of Jaguar fans. I never have a problem with members of the national media or opposing fans or whomever picking on the Jaguars, picking on the team, picking on the coach, picking on the general manager. That's fine. I do have a problem when you pick on the city. I do have a problem when you pick on the fans, like what Jason Kelsey said a couple of years, like a Jaguar fan. Totally unnecessary, totally wrong in that particular aspect. But I'm starting to feel it. As a matter of fact, at a couple minutes past 6 o'clock right here midweek, I'm absolutely feeling it. I think a lot of you have just said, enough is enough is enough. Can you get us to the end line and let's hopefully rebuild this thing in a season. This team is close, but they're going to come out 3-0, right? And then all of a sudden you're going to look at Minnesota and they're going to orchestrate, author, engineer A 10-play, 75-yard drive. They take 8 minutes and 21 seconds off the clock. You're down 7-0. Here come the Jaguars. 3-0. Right? You're down 7-0. You're down 10-0. You're down 21-3. It's very frustrating. You know, a ball game which you just came off 31 yards of offense in the first half. 31 yards, 1 first down. I mean, how do you make that stuff up? And that's what this football team did. And that is what is bothering you. It almost feels fixed. It almost feels like wrestling, where it is the same old every single week. The Jaguars offensively are asleep when the game begins. Total lack of professionalism. It's on Trevor Lawrence. It's on Press Taylor. It's on Doug Peterson. It's on everyone. When you do this week after week after week, it's accepted, okay? They don't make any changes. They don't try to fix it. They just simply say, we need to clean this up, all right? It's the same thing every week. They are asleep when the game begins, and all of a sudden your defense is tired. Do you have the Josh Hines Allen thing that I went back and forth? Josh didn't understand my question. I rephrased it, and he offered up a no comment, which I thought was very intriguing. But my point is that every single week, and it's now been 4 consecutive weeks, that the Jaguars have found themselves trailing by double figures early in the game. The defense is on the field so much. And it's not that the defense can't get off the field. It's even when they do, your offense comes out and you immediately have a 3-and-out. So my point on this was supposed to be complimentary football. Your offense is garbage. And how frustrating is this as a defensive player to not have them doing their part? Let's go to the locker room. This is after the game Sunday when I asked the question to Josh Hines Allen.
Josh, the pattern's been you guys are out there in the first quarter for 10, 11 and a half minutes, and it's kind of a fluke, but it's gone on now game after game after game. Is that almost the defensive mentality that you know you're going to play a lot early on?
No, we try to get off the field as quick as we can. Again, they were making good plays, putting themselves in the, giving the balls to the best playmakers. So we have to do a better job of getting off the field earlier, creating more pressure up front, being a little bit more stickier in the back end, and we can rush and coverage match together, stop the run, put them in passing situations. Then we'll be able to get off the field a little bit quicker.
I guess what I was saying is almost like the lack of complementary football, that the offense early on is not doing their part.
No comment.
There you have it. It was a long look. It was a pretty decent stare from the consummate professional in Josh Hines Allen. I felt he wanted to say something. He thought about it. And then he issued a no comment. Translation, me, there, facial expression, body language, he's pissed off. This offense sucks. This offense doesn't give this football team an opportunity. And it's the same pattern week after week after week after week. And this organization absolutely refuses to fix it. Fix it! Invent a new way. You do the same thing and you know this right now on a Wednesday. You know it and I know it. And everyone listening knows it. Take every dime that you own and put it on Minnesota to score first. You know it's going to happen. You know you're going to be trailing. And no one has an answer. No one has an explanation. They just look at you. We got to clean it up. We got to fix it. This entire football organization needs to be bulldozered. It needs to be blown up. And the problem is, you still got a heck of a lot of football remaining. So, it's Minnesota week. They roll into Duval. We'll have it for you pregame, in-game, postgame. Right here in your home of the Jaguars, 92.5 in the FM, 1010 on the XM. Trevor's got a shoulder, and he's hurt. Trevor Lawrence is playing average football. Trevor Lawrence makes great plays. The script, as we said, they start slow, then all of a sudden they find the light. Something happens. They make a big play, a furious comeback. And it typically ends in the red zone. 2 weeks ago, he made the pass. The defense gave it up. A completely broken down play by a backup quarterback, Andre Sisco, who's been just awful this year. I mean, he'll be lucky to be on a practice squad in 2025. Gives up the coverage. Again, complimentary football. John Shipley wrote about it a few weeks ago. He nailed it. Whenever the offense does its part, comes down the field, scores with backup players. Yes, it was Ingram, but your 3 wide receivers were down. You're in a 12 personnel. By the way, Jackson went to an 11 personnel last week with a bunch of backup wide receivers. Again, coaching that you just can't even explain. High school coaches wouldn't have run 11 personnel. College coaches, outside of maybe Mike Norvell, who doesn't know how to coach, wouldn't have run an 11 personnel. This team did. This team absolutely did. Brenton Strange, who's had a hell of a year, got 9 snaps and 0 targets. Today, Doug Peterson laughs about Jefferson, how special he is, and why Sam Darnold is better. Look at the targets Jefferson gets every Sunday. Brian Thomas Jr. got 4 targets, 2 receptions, 22 yards, none during that final drive. 1st and 10 for the 13. You threw it up to a 3rd string running back in Dearness Johnson. That's what your organization did. Yeah. But you know that is going to be the case. Jacksonville will find themselves back into the game, and then they'll let you down in the 4th quarter. The defense will give up a touchdown, or Trevor Lawrence will create a turnover with the game on the line. And then we'll get back here on Monday, and we'll say, my goodness, man, this is the 6th time this year the Jaguars have lost by 5 points or less. They're so close. They're a play away. You know, they're one less mistake away. Tomfoolery. Trevor, it's a non-throwing shoulder. Is he going to go? We shall see. I think he's a tough guy. I think Trevor Lawrence is so beyond frustrated. I would love to really know what he's thinking. You're never going to find out what they're thinking. That's why I played you the clip from Josh Hines-Allen. I have an opinion on what he's thinking because I watched his eyes, the way he looked at me, the way he stared at me, okay? I watched his eyes and his facial expression, almost as if he wanted to pop off. But as a veteran and a leader, he did not. Trevor Lawrence, I have to believe right now, is on the cusp of absolutely exploding. This is a born winner. This is a guy who never lost, growing up, never lost in high school, lost a couple of games ever in college. He's 22-37 as a pro. And many consider him a massive disappointment. I'm still in the middle here, and I'm never in the middle. I never ride the fence. I never flop. I don't. But I am here with Trevor. I don't know which way to go. If you drop $10,000 on the table right now and said to me, will Trevor Lawrence ever win a Super Bowl here in Jacksonville? Without hesitation, I'm going to say no. He hasn't done anything to get me to believe that he can win a Super Bowl. He's 22-37. If Mac Jones starts this weekend, he's got a better winning percentage than Trevor Lawrence. Gardner Minshew has a better winning percentage than Trevor Lawrence. I know it's not all his fault, but the question was simple. Yes or no? 2 years ago, I say yes. Last year, after regressing, I went to no. Right now, I am absolutely at a no. And the only hope is a brand new staff, a brand new organization, and a coach that is so gung-ho who knows I can work with this 25-year-old. I can turn him around. I can give him the confidence. I can give him the support. I know his strengths. And maybe then you can take him to the promised land. Right now, looking at this organization, no. This thing's broken. And you just have to sit in it. There's no get to the finish line. Are you kidding me? You got 2 months more of football. This team's been out of it since late October. And here it is, November 6th. and you're out of it. So, does he go? Does he not go? I think he's a gamer. I think he'll try to play. But again, I'm sure half his brain is, why should I play? We're going to lose. Do I need to have it go to 22-38? Do I need to hang another loss over my head coming up here against a team that is playing hard for their coach, playing hard for one another? The Jaguars don't play hard. When you come out every Sunday and you're in a coma in the first quarter and you average 2.2 points a game in the first quarter, and week after week after week, you are set in the same cycle as not being ready to play offensively, you're not playing hard. They're injured, Ballou. Everyone's injured. Everyone's hurt. I won't allow excuses. Trade deadline came and went. Really gave this a lot of thought. Doug Peterson's gone. The staff's gone. Right now, the only one who's fighting for his job is Trent Baalke. Does trading away Travis Etienne help the Jaguars win Sunday? Does trading away Brandon Sheriff help the Jaguars win Sunday? You know that Baalke is the master of future conditional sixth-round picks. Does that save his job? No. The best chance for the Jaguars to win on Sunday is for Travis Etienne to play, not create an interception, get more than one touch like he did in the second half. Was he benched? Brandon Sheriff, far less than 100%. Still, Cooper Hodges is now out. He is by far the Jaguars' best option. As bad as Andre Sisco has been this year, he's still playing every snap. Is Jacksonville better by peddling him for a future conditional late-round pick or by playing him this weekend? So I think there were many who were surprised and even disappointed that Jacksonville didn't move these players, including expiring contracts in Sheriff and in Sisco. But when you're the general manager and you still have a shot of keeping your job, where your coaching staff does not, I mean, anything short of the Jaguars winning every game that remains and going into the playoffs, that is the only way that Doug Peterson and this staff is going to keep their job. I mean, they're fired. I actually thought there was an opportunity he might have gotten fired Monday after Philly. Down 22-0, I did. Now, they came back. And again, that's kind of the script of the Jaguars season. I think right now the game to identify will be a week from Sunday, right before the bye. If they get beaten by Minnesota and they get beaten by Detroit, you're 2-9. That's when the firing is actually going to take place. But I want people to realize that even though Baalke, went out and moved RRH and he went out and he traded Cam, he could have traded others, but he didn't because he still has the opportunity to save his job. So here we are. And this is what becomes so frustrating. You don't want to lose week after week. You don't want to sit here and say another loss against Minnesota, another loss against Detroit, another loss again. No, you want to win some games, right? I mean, right now you would draft second. There are 9 teams who have won 2 games. Being around a losing program, I mean, the losing hurts the city. It hurts mojo. It hurts time with family and friends. I mean, just the whole atmosphere is awful, right? When you lose consistently. So, Trevor may not play. Is it better off to not play Trevor? Lose all these games? If that was to guarantee that Trent Baalke is gone, I think that's the only way he's gone. What if they pull out a win here against one of these winning teams, one of these playoff teams? What if they find themselves late against very winnable opponents, like those last 5 games? They beat Tennessee home and away. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Jets. They win games like that. Then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, well, it wasn't a great year, But they were 6-11. They were 7-10. But they lost 7 games by 5 points or less. And they were all of a sudden you start creating excuses. And under that, Trent Baalke sticks around as your general manager. I hate the proposal. I hate it. I like to rip it up. But it's one or the other. You can't have it both ways. It's one or the other. Where are you, Duval? Is it a screw that, Ballou, knock off Minnesota and go to Detroit and fight? Or are you at the point right now where it is, I want them to get crushed. Give me the number 1 pick. Give me the number 2 pick and start all over again in January. The last thing you want is in between. To win a few of these games, and we know Baalke is in the ear of Khan, and he hangs around for another. That is the last thing that you want. So tell me, 641-1010. That is the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. All right, opening comments tonight and every night brought to you by the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. Press box was way, way, way up in Philly. But I had 20/20 eyes. And that's a good thing because it's Shmunez Vision. Your eyes are starting to fail you. Hey, it's very common the older that we get. There's wants and there's needs. A great want would be laser eye surgery. 20/20 for the rest of your days. Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, 30 years worth of experience. A need is a little bit more complicated, right? Cataract surgery. It's petrifying. It's going to scare you, right? You need information on that. You go and get a checkup and you're told there's an issue. You need a cataract surgery. Well, at Shmunez Vision, you know how they're different? The folks who actually perform the surgery, Dr. Neil, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, will also sit down and talk to you and answer each and every one of your questions, where other practices, they will appoint to you a surgery counselor. If you're going to go under and you're going to have serious work in your eyes, don't you want to have a conversation with the doctor who is performing the surgery? That is Shmunez Vision. Check him out online. Also get all of the testimonials on Instagram. Just go to Shmunez Vision. All right, when we come back, AJ LaSelva is here, ladies and gentlemen. Very happy Miami Hurricane fan. Let's talk to him about the Canes, and let's get into, because I know a lot of you last night, your minds were elsewhere. Your attention was elsewhere. I get it. So we were on air when the first installment of the college football playoff rankings came out. I want to get into that a little bit, give you my opinion on overranking, underranking, and also what an unbelievable Saturday coming up in college football. This 12-team playoff is going to completely change coming up in 6 days because of the activity that we have scheduled coming up on this college football Saturday. All right, so it's great to have you with us. He is JJ LaSelva. My name is Rick Ballou. We call this Into the Night.
4 quarters plus 1 equals extra fun. Join Hacker, Leon, and Coach Campo for the Window World of Northeast Florida 5th quarter at Island Girl Cigar Bar on Gate Parkway. 2 hours after the final whistle on game day. Brought to you by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings.
Looking for a new vehicle? Take a look at Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Now's the time to save big. Choose from more than 250 new and over 1,000 used and certified pre-owned vehicles on the lot, or shop anytime at JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Hyundai has one of the top warranties in the business. Lifetime, powertrain, and 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, plus 3 years free maintenance on a new vehicle. Give them the chance to earn your business today on Atlantic Boulevard or at JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com.
Bold City AC.
Is your AC ready for the holidays? Bold City Heating and Air ensures your AC stays in tip-top shape. We know that a clean AC is a healthy AC. Upgrade yours for just $96 a month and enjoy free duct cleanings with your new system. Plus, ask about our 0% financing options.
Bold City AC. We got the crew. Bold City AC.
Visit BoldCityAC.com.
Joe C. for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. There's nothing like the ambiance of a custom-built fireplace. The team at CSS can design and install the perfect setup, including wood, gas, and electric models, whether you want the elegance of an indoor fireplace or the warmth of an outdoor fire pit. You dream it, they build it. Visit their showroom or online at cssfireplaces.com.
You dream it, we build it. CSS.
Hacker here, and let me tell you, this is the stuff I never thought I'd say. I now weigh 209 pounds thanks to Awaken 180. To put that in perspective, I'm down from a triple XL to a large. My waist has dropped 10 inches from a 48 to a 38. I honestly never thought I'd get to this point. And one of the best parts now is that I get to be so active and play every afternoon with my 5-year-old little Hack. Now, none of this would have been possible without Awaken 180 weight loss. They don't just help you lose weight, they make the impossible possible. We're celebrating this Saturday at Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra Beach for a Florida-Texas watch party. Yes, I will be eating, and yes, I'll be drinking. Both are approved while losing weight with Awaken 180. Now, if you're ready for your own transformation, making the impossible possible, do what we all did and choose the solution for weight loss at awaken180weightloss.com. If they did this for me, they can do it for you too.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish. And he's listening to the Nimnicht Outdoor Show.
With tips and stories.
Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Every Saturday morning, 7 to 10.
On 1010XL.
Football fans, huddle up. Make Best Bet St. Augustine your game day headquarters. We're serving up the ultimate viewing experience with all the big games on our massive screens, mouth-watering food specials till 2 a.m., drink deals to keep your spirits high, and we're open till 4 in the morning for post-game celebrations. Ante up for your team and score big at Best Bet St. Augustine this football season. For the play-by-play on our game day specials, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com. Best Bet St. Augustine, where every fan leaves a champion.
When pests invade your space, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, we show up for you and eliminate pests quicker because we care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so do we. Don't live with a pest problem. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
When you roll into a convenience store for some cold Bud Light, you want to make sure it's, well, cold. Check out the big coolers at Circle K. They make sure it's chilled and ready to go for the big game or party. Swing by Circle K and pick up some cold Bud Light.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
The Golf Club of Southampton has plenty going on, from a great round to a round with your buds, soaking up some football and great grub. Every Saturday and Sunday at Southampton, enjoy their game day special. Wings tossed in your favorite sauce and a cold pitcher of beer. Membership opportunities to take advantage of, too. Join Southampton with a paid initiation, and you'll get a $500 gift card. Perfect for golf, pro shop purchases, or the clubhouse. Check it out. It's all happening at the Golf Club of Southampton.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's great to have you with us. This is your home with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I am the truth teller, Rick Ballou, with you tonight till 8. No place I would rather be. JJ LaSelva is here. When do the emotions begin to kick in for that nasty hurricane trip to Atlanta Saturday at high noon?
All season, because if you remember, this was the game last season where Miami was like 4-0 or 5-0 or something, and they weren't playing as great as Miami was to start out this year, but they were still unbeaten.
Right.
And they had the home game against Georgia Tech, and they seemingly had the game won, decided not to kneel. There was a fumble. Allegedly, there was a fumble. Then the defense totally folded, and Georgia Tech came back and won a game that they had no business winning. So I've had this one circled the entire season. I want to beat Georgia Tech's ass this weekend.
Georgia Tech is so unpredictable.
They are. Haynes King, I'm assuming he's going to play. They're coming off a bye, and he sat out the last 2 weeks. They were preparing for Haynes King to be ready just for this game. So.
Miami, I think, does get a break getting him at noon. Always want the road team to play as early as they possibly can, as opposed to going into Bobby Dodd at night. Not as though that is a really intimidating place to play, but I still think it
can be at times.
Yeah,
but
I still
not
think
when they're down like this.
I still think the later the game is, the more it obviously does favor the home team. So if you look at the top 4 seeds, it's Oregon. No surprise there after beating Ohio State. They're number 1. They will host Maryland. Number 2, Ohio State. They will host Purdue. Number 3, Georgia. They go to number 16, Mississippi. If Georgia beats Mississippi, Ole Miss is out. They've got 2 losses. I mean, Georgia, 6 interceptions by Carson Beck in the last couple of weeks. And Jackson Dart, I know most of our listeners, because this is SEC country, have watched Mississippi's quarterback play this year. He just threw for a record amount of yards last week, and he's the winningest quarterback in school history. I talk about times of games. Lane Kiffin was complaining about it a week ago, okay? They felt that this should be the premier game this weekend in the SEC, not Alabama at LSU, and Mississippi did not get the 7:30, 8 o'clock night game. Instead, they get one at 3:30, so I know the folks there at Mississippi are bent out of shape.
So is that not the, when it was on CBS, obviously, they would have number 1 choice of the CBS game, and that would be the 3:30, or the SEC, and that would be the 3:30 game. Is that different now? Did ESPN make the number 1 SEC game 7:30 or 8?
I think it varies. I mean,
it does. I've seen it different every week.
Right.
I feel like.
The world's largest outdoor cocktail party is going to be at 3:30. I would assume the Iron Bowl is going to be at 3:30. CBS, it was always 3:30, but it bounces back and forth.
Because I can't tell which game ESPN would want.
Yeah.
Which one of those games is bigger?
Well, I tell you why Bama LSU has got prime time, because Mississippi's not a blue blood. It's as simple as that. I mean, Alabama, LSU, and Georgia win national titles. Mississippi wins nothing. I got in trouble with some Mississippi fans a couple of months ago because I told the truth. Mississippi wins nothing. If Lane Kiffin wants to win something, he leaves and goes to Florida. Or he leaves and he goes somewhere else. I yelled about the same thing 7, 8 years ago with Jimbo Fisher going to Texas A&M, and I was right. He's never going to win at Texas A&M. No one is ever going to win at Texas A&M, just like no one is ever going to win at Mississippi. They're always a good story. They'll have a big victory. They'll, be the flavor of the week. But when it's all said and done, it's Mississippi. They're going to end up 8-4, 9-3, and go to a bowl game quick. Who did Mississippi play in a bowl game last year?
Oh, I have no idea.
Who did they play in a bowl game 2 years ago? We don't know. We don't care unless you bet on it. It's a nice story, Mississippi. But you are what you are, and you're not a college football contender, and you're never going to be. Nonetheless, that's a pretty good game coming up this weekend. I talked about this over the at Crosstalk with Frank and Hayes. This Alabama game at LSU the loser's eliminated because you both have 2 losses, right? Bama's number 11, LSU's number 14, and they are both 6-2. A pretty interesting statistic here. And LSU's coming off a bye, as we know what happened to them against Texas A&M. The last 4 head coaches at Alabama, in their first game against LSU, they all lost. And that obviously does include Nick Saban. The last coach at Alabama to win the first time that they faced LSU was back in 1990 with Gene Stallings, who, of course, would win a national title in 1997 in the Sugar Bowl. Okay, if you didn't see it, here are the projected first 4 games to be played in the college football playoff, with Oregon, Ohio State not getting the bye, right? They don't. It's BYU who gets the bye. BYU, very underrated here. BYU 8-0. There's 5 one-loss teams ahead of BYU, who is ranked number 9. And, you know, they've had some nice wins. Look at SMU. They're 8-1. SMU's only loss all year long was to BYU, yet BYU is not name recognition. Just like SMU is not name recognition. Indiana, not name recognition. Doesn't matter who you put in to make these decisions when it comes to a college football playoff ranking system. Blue bloods are always going to prevail. You're never going to get away from history and tradition in college football. You will in the NFL. And again, we don't really study. I don't really study NFL power rankings because they're irrelevant. The way the NFL does it is masterful. Everyone has a chance. You play until you get knocked out. But when you have a 12-team college football playoff, there's still going to be some criticism. There's still going to be some controversy. 12 against 5 on the campus of Ohio State in Columbus. It'll be the Buckeyes against Boise State. Boise State becomes the 5th conference champion. That is in. They do not get a bye. The top 4 conference champions do. Number 9, Indiana at number 8, Tennessee. That'll be played in Knoxville. Number 11, Alabama at number 5, Texas in Austin. And how great will that be? And then you talk about an old school matchup, Happy Valley, Penn State, number 7. Taking on Notre Dame at number 10. So that is the way. I think I said Texas at 5. Should be Texas at 6. Excuse me. The 11-6 matchup, then the 10-7 matchup. Notre Dame at Penn State. So there you go. Oregon, Ohio State, even though they're a 2 seed, they're forced to play as a 5 seed. Even though they're number 2 in the rankings, they're forced to go as number 5 in the seedings because they are the second team in the Big Ten behind Oregon. And again, the real controversy here is BYU. But, I mean, you can yell, but it's BYU. No one's going to hear you, right? I mean, Florida State yelled a year ago. You were heard. And what happened? Not only did the team quit and just have 28 cancellations before Georgia, but you carried it over to the next season, and you also became, along the way, because of your whining and your crying, myself included, you created a situation where you have become the most disliked team in college football, right? I mean, there were people that used to dislike Florida State or didn't carry the way who wanted to see them get their ass kicked this year because they complained and complained and complained in the way they did it. I mean, if they all showed up and got beat by Georgia, that's one thing. But when you announce that 28 guys aren't going to play and then you act the way that they have this year on the field and comments you made off the field, you're going to get picked on. BYU's smarter than that, right? BYU is more respectful than that. And they're also not going to carry with them the national clout that Florida State has. BYU has won a national title since what? Right around like when Georgia did 40 years ago when they had, was it Robbie Bosco? It wasn't McMahon. It wasn't Young. It wasn't Detmer. I think it was Robbie Bosco when BYU
84.
won a national title. Yeah, that was actually 4 years after Georgia. Again, a lot of Georgia fans out there think that they invented football. You folks did go 40 years without doing squat. You went 40 years where you were Mississippi. You went 40 years where you were Texas A&M. You went 40 years where you did nothing. Just remember that. I still think you're the team to beat. But, hey, 40 years? That's quite a long time. Same thing with SMU at number 13. It's SMU. They're not going to get the love. Look at Notre Dame at number 10. How's Notre Dame ahead of LSU? Oh, excuse me. How's Notre Dame ahead of SMU? SMU's lost one game to BYU. Notre Dame lost on their home field to Northern Illinois. Did we forget that? Did the college football playoff rankings system and whoever votes, it's humans, right? I mean, did they just feed this into a computer? Or do humans actually vote? Notre Dame, their loss to Northern Illinois has been completely forgotten by the college football world. I mean, honestly, if you're driving home right now, no matter what it is that you're doing, admit it. You forgot that Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois. I mean, it's just been totally buried. It's unbelievable. And they come in here ranked at number 10. Realistically, there's not a chance in the world that if this is a college basketball poll, whatever it is, that SMU is not ranked higher than Notre Dame. But it's SMU, and it's football. And things are still crooked in the sport that we do love. In Penn State? Who was Penn State beaten?
No one, but I guess they barely lost to Ohio State, which is like their claim to fame. Also, quickly on Notre Dame and SMU, they both played Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
So they do have one common opponent, at least one. But like I said last night, they're making that Texas A&M win mean so much more than the Northern Illinois loss, which to me I disagree with.
Well, that's because college football vultures will tell you that going into play at Texas A&M is the toughest place to play in college football, right? And to me, that is laughable. Because if you're talking about the toughest place to play in college football, shouldn't the translation be wins? Shouldn't the
not just like crowd size or noise?
Shouldn't the translation be winning championships? SEC championships? National championships? You can tell me that Kyle Field is second to none, but we know how it works every year for Texas A&M. They start off like 6-1, 7-1. Then you look at them at the end of the year, they're 8-5. You know, they're 8-4, 7-5. And back in the old days with the divisions, they were never going to finish better than third, right? They were always going to be behind Bama or LSU, or maybe 1 year in Mississippi, maybe 1 year in Auburn. I mean, it's laughable to me. You can't say it's the most difficult place to play when teams go in there and win. But anyway, they do with Texas A&M. Well, let's grab some thoughts on that. A lot for you to choose from, in my particular opinion. What a weekend, though. SEC elimination games. Bama at LSU. Losers out. Georgia lost this game. It would be interesting. But again, I mean, is there anyone out there with a pulse who's going to pick Mississippi? I mean, it's an honest question.
I am.
Are you really?
I am.
Because Carson Beck's not playing well?
Yeah. I don't think they're going to be able to go score for score with them. But I get your point. It's Georgia and it's Ole Miss. But I think I am. It's like a 2.5 point spread right now. Georgia's favored.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel crazy doing it just because of the history involved. But I'll take Ole Miss getting 2.5 at home.
I think the Philly Godfather picked 4 dogs last week. I will ask him about that game tomorrow night. I'll also ask Rafael Esparza about Georgia going to Mississippi tonight. He will join us in about an hour. But that's obviously later in the program.
Also, hell of a triple header. You're just saying, like,
it's a great day.
If Lagway was still in, like, it would have been epic. That noon game, and then we just talked about the 3:30 game, and of course LSU Alabama 7.
I mean, how great noon is with Miami at Tech and Florida at Texas, and then you fall right into that Georgia Mississippi game. We talked about it briefly last night. Probably the craziest thing about this weekend is how much of an underdog last year's national championship game teams are. I mean, if you woke up from a coma, pretend you're a member of the Jaguars offense, okay, and you're asleep in the first quarter. You're just asleep in the first half. And then all of a sudden you wake up. And someone was to say to you, last year's national champion, Michigan, is a 14-point underdog at Indiana? Who would believe it? If I was to say to you, last year's runner-up who played in the national championship game, Washington, is a 14-point underdog at Penn State, who would believe it? So think of that. That's 28 points combined. For last year's national championship game, Michigan at Indiana and Washington at Penn State, how quickly things have changed at the top in the world of college football. All right, much more to do. Your opinion is always warranted. Best way to do it, text line 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Let's start the debate. Why would someone buy a new car from you? We have an exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle. We offer a competitive wow price plus free oil changes. How much will someone get for their trade? We offer more than $4,000 over KBV value. Well, we never lose a trade over price. Okay, when is the best time to buy a car? Right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter which side you pick. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, you get it all. Let us show you why we're the winning vote.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
Are you an experienced plumber or welder with MedGas certification and you're tired of being undervalued? It's time to make the move to Local 234 plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. With the best pay in the business, you'll earn $36.50 an hour. With benefits, that's almost $50. It's not just a job, it's a career that values you. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
This is David with Royal Pest Services. Join us Friday, November 15th from 12 to 2 with Helmets and Heels at Tony D's for our customer appreciation.
And there'll be free slices for you guys.
Tony, you've been down here long enough. It's y'all.
Are you ready to upgrade your home? Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renewal by Andersen. Energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Right now, save 20% on your entire project. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires November 30th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 6, 1981, Los Angeles Dodgers starting pitcher Fernando Valenzuela became the first rookie in MLB history to win the National League Cy Young Award.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. Our listeners have been killing it in a year full of surprises. MyBookie is the one book that's got your back. No fluff, no second guessing, just straight up action. Does your other sports book pay out when you push on a bet? MyBookie pays you back. And if you're new to the game and not sure where to start, we've got you covered. Step up, use our promo code 1010XL, and that'll double your bankroll with 100% deposit bonus right from the jump. Here's a pro tip to get you rolling. The NFL teams with powerhouse offensive lines are dominating the run game this year, and betting game total unders has been printing money. Stack that with MyBookie's risk-free Thursdays, so why wait? There's a new risk-free odds boost every Thursday. To find the bet, click on the Bet Boost tab and scroll down. If it hits, you win. If it doesn't, MyBookie refunds your money. Sign up now, get your double deposit bonus with promo code 1010XL, the best sign-up bonus for Florida bettors. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
Jeff Lagerman here. Now that football season is here, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or away game safely and dependably. You
You can trust the ASE certified professionals at any of the 27 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions, and more. Napa Auto Care offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace-of-mind warranty on most repairs. Find a Napa Auto Care Center near you. JacksNapaAutoCareGroup.com.
Hey, Googans, Hicken here from my friends at Beaches Dermatology. We all know summer's now gone, but that doesn't mean the sun goes away. It's Florida, right? That said, you still need to protect yourself from that bright sun. Golfing, fishing, weekends at your kid's game, or just taking care of the yard. Protect yourself and your skin. Beaches Dermatology and I want to remind you to wear your sunscreen. It's important. Holidays are also approaching, so take care of that spouse of yours with a gift from Beaches Dermatology. Call today or go online at beachesdermatology.com.
You've got a Pepto predicament, moviegoer.
Hey, I can hear your stomach grumbling.
Sorry, I ate that entire tub of popcorn with extra butter. You overdid it, and now your movie has turned into a blockbuster bellyache. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief, so you can focus on the action on the big screen instead of in your stomach. When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Big Sir's here. My cigars are back in stock at Island Girl Gate Parkway. Buy a box and I will autograph it for you. Island Girl Gate Parkway is the place to enjoy a great cigar selection, a full bar, enjoy a daily happy hour from noon to 7 and all day Sunday. Enjoy college and NFL games from noon to 6. When you buy 5 cigars, you get 1 free. Plus, live music Friday and Saturday nights. For upcoming events, follow Island Girl Gate Parkway on Instagram and Facebook at islandgirl.gateparkway.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single-line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
This is Dr. Turner Vossler, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
With Trevor starting to get banged up as the year goes on, the Jaguars announced they are bringing back veteran quarterback and experienced Jaguar C.J. Beathard. Beathard played with the Jags since 2021 before getting cut earlier on this season, but the Jags ultimately felt like it would be a smart move picking him back up while Trevor tries to get healthy. Here he is on what it's like to have Beathard back in the locker room.
Yeah, great to have CJ back. Obviously, it's my buddy. Known him been here with me for most of my career, and it's nice to have him back in the building. I know he's excited, and our whole room is great. Honestly, all the guys, John Rice, Mac, we all fit together pretty well. So it's been great, and then obviously adding him to that again is a guy that I know and have experience with, and does a good job. And I think everybody fits in really seamlessly.
I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, John Osher coming up in just a couple of minutes. Going to be real quick here because I've been long-winded tonight, but I want to give you the very latest as far as injuries. Let's begin with the quarterback. Trevor Lawrence had this to say today about his non-throwing shoulder.
Yeah, still a little sore today. I mean, not much different than other weeks, but this point in the year, yeah, still dealing with a little soreness, so hopefully we can get that flushed out throughout the week.
Will you get to play this week?
That's the goal. I'm doing everything I can to be out there. But, like it's in the past, and I've gotten banged up in the past. So I just try to do everything I can during the week to prepare myself to play Sunday, and just put as much time as possible into that and getting healthy. So that's the way my mind is right now.
You did not hear the Jaguars today did sign C.J. Beathard to their active 53-man roster. Both guards didn't work. The ankle for Ezra Cleveland, the DMP, did not play in Philadelphia. And Brandon Sheriff toughed it out with the knee. He was a DMP today as well. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 limited participants today, including Andrew Wingard, who Doug Peterson did say he expects him to be back this weekend. Others who were limited today, Let's see. Tank Bigsby with the ankle. Gabe Davis, the shoulder, inactive last week. Travis Etienne Jr., the hamstring. Talked about Lawrence on the left shoulder. It's an ankle for Mason Smith. The chest for Brian Thomas Jr. Daniel Thomas, a hamstring. Devin Duvernay, a hamstring. He was brought out of the IR designation today. The 21-day window does begin for Devin Duvernay. And Keelan Robinson, a toe. He was brought out of the IR designation in the 21-day window last week. So you have 3 guys now in that window if you include Andrew Wingard. Let's get ready for John Osher. He kicks things off. We'll talk about the presidential debate as far as the amount of money that was spent on it last night with our good buddy Rafael Esparza, mybookie.org. That is 40 minutes away. We'll also talk about that Georgia game at Mississippi and the Jaguars as they play host to Minnesota. All of that's coming up in hour number 2.
He's mastered the art of incognito.
Charming, sophisticated secret agent.
Case Carline takes you behind enemy lines. 5 hours before kickoff on 1010XL. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Jags fans, looking for the perfect activity around the holidays? We've got you covered with the inaugural Teal Trot 5K. The race takes place outside Everbank Stadium, Saturday, December 21st. We can't wait to see you there. Your registration includes the 5K, a throwback Jaguars headband, and a ticket to the December 29th game against the Titans. Visit Jaguars.com/Teal Trot to sign up today.
You've got so many chances to win big on Hard Rock Bet. Even a small bet can bring in that serious cash. All you need is $1 and a dream.
Unbelievable. They've hit the parlay. Let's go!
Big payouts for every kind of player.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Get up to $100 back if your first bet doesn't win. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Movember is Men's Health Awareness Month, so take charge of your health and vitality at Ackerman Urology in Mandarin, Middleburg, the Beaches, and World Golf Village. For prostate and urological needs, trust Ackerman Urology. AckermanUrology.com.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley have been helping first-time home buyers with their mortgage financing all over Florida for 34 years. First-time home buyers can get no or low down payments, anywhere from 0 to 3.5% down. As a first-time home buyer with Trustline Mortgage, you get added benefits for doing your loan with us, like lower rates on your mortgage insurance and lower closing costs. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Trustline gives first-time home buyers better mortgage interest rates? Here's the bottom line. Trustline Mortgage wants to help first-time home buyers accomplish your goal of home ownership. That's why Trustline Mortgage is offering the best first-time home buyer benefits around, period. Trustline Mortgage delivers with no and low down payments, lower closing costs, and better interest rates. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. Yes, 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you buy your dream home. Or visit our website at TrustlineMortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing opportunity. MLS number 331480.
Integrity, persistence, and standing up for victims. It's what you want in a personal injury case and what my friend and lawyer Glenn Cohen brings to every case for over 40 years. Call Glenn at Barnes, Cohen & Sullivan.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
If you're getting engaged this holiday season, celebrating an anniversary, birthday, or shopping early for the holidays,
you do not want to miss Beard's Diamonds' incredible 44th anniversary sale.
Everything store-wide is on sale up to an unbelievable 44% off.
At the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com. topical.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. November is Veterans Month, and Awaken 180 is honoring all active duty veterans and spouses with 15% off our entire program, plus the same free support for life all clients receive. Celebrate Veterans Month with 50% off at awaken180weightloss.com.
AC replacement? If your AC unit is ready to go kaput, then it's time to call Florida Home AC. With over $3,000 in tax credits waiting for you on select systems, take advantage of it. Call 777-4300. Get Florida Home AC to cool you off.
This is Hayes Carlion for Skylife Elite. Have you ever thought about aircraft ownership as another potential revenue stream and as a tool for tax savings? Put your tax money to work for you while enjoying the benefits of private personal travel. Skylife Elite has over a decade of experience in business aviation and can guide you through the process with their expert staff. Call my friends over at Skylife Elite at 490-9332 or find them at flyskylife.com to get the rundown on everything owning an airplane can do for you.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's Pizza. If you love our pizza and pasta dishes, let us cater an event for you. Family function or office parties, we can deliver you an amazing Italian meal. Remember, it's not just pizza at Tony D's. Bay Meadows and $2.95.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
All right, let's bring in John Osher, senior writer, Jaguars.com. Get everything from John and his staff. Again, just go to Jaguars.com. Hello, Johnny.
Rick, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. I hate that it feels like the same old, but
sure.
Hopefully this is the last time I'll have to ask you this question. Why do they struggle so mightily offensively early in the game?
Yeah, that's a question that I've probably gotten a million times in the ozone, right? And not being a smart bleep, but if I knew, I'd be coaching, right? I mean, that's what they're trying to figure out. It's apparent they can do it. They're obviously pretty good when they start hurrying up, but there's also with that my theory on that is there's a little bit more urgency in the players when you're hurrying up. Maybe they've gotten into a rhythm. I think there's also a little bit when you're hurrying up the way the Jaguars have been hurrying up that the defense is giving you a little bit. So some plays aren't as defense as hard. The defense changes a little bit, I guess is what I'm getting at. So, I've always believed whenever an offense is struggling, I get emails about, well, they should hurry up. They should go into the hurry up. And I think Doug Peterson on Monday addressed the problem with that most coaches have is, if you hurry up and you throw incomplete on first down and second down, all of a sudden you're off the field and your defense on the field in 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard. It's also hard to get the personnel packages you want in there and hurry up. You're getting away from what you do. But it's so hard to explain. But if they knew the answer, they would do something about it because they keep trying stuff and it just doesn't work. I mean, but it's defining the season. And the inability to stop third and long, that's the season.
Yeah. And much like yourself, I'm asked about it all the time. And then people are like, well, why not just start fast? And you alluded to Peterson's comments on Monday, and I agree with it. Also, you can look at Lincoln Riley. Let's go back to his time at Oklahoma where, they're running 90 plays a game and they're getting plays off with, 20 seconds, 25 seconds left on the play clock. You can't do that professionally with these offensive linemen. They just, I don't care how great their conditioning is. There's a difference between pros in their late 20s and early 30s. than a 19-year-old kid running this at Oklahoma.
Yeah, and it's also a little different, level of competition. Every player on the other side is good, so it's harder to find weaknesses. It's harder to go after that. But I think to your point, you're exactly right. It's and I think too, one coach told me this, and I don't know how true it is. Your defenses, you can sub out defensively more too, because you've got more players to go with. Like you basically got on defense in an NFL game, you've got about 18 or 19 guys you can go to.
All right.
In college, you've got 30. So there's a little bit more. If you're going to play that kind of offense, you can sub on defense if your defense is getting win. So much of what they do in pro is you're trying to complement and play a complete game that allows everything to function.
Yeah.
And it's really the defense. If the defense can't function, then there's no point in what the offense is doing.
You already, for the most part, answered the question, but the other link to it would be these scripted plays that they go over are not working. And again, no huddle, calling plays at the line of scrimmage is working. You already kind of defined that, but I imagine you get that question all the time because I'm getting it all the time.
What's wrong with the script?
Yeah, I mean, the scripted plays early on aren't working.
Yeah, so just let them call it in the huddle. I guess you try that. I would say the reason they don't is most NFL coaches and even teams don't like to feel like they're going in gimmicky. And that sort of feels like that's not what they want to do offensively. You're getting away from who you think you are. And again, I get what somebody listening to this is saying. Well, what they are is not very good. So why don't they try something new? But you just usually, to start off up tempo when your offense hasn't been working well, nobody does it, and really nobody's done it in. That's sort of the domain of the high functioning, right? Like the K-Gun did it back in the 90s. The Colts teams I covered did it a lot as they got better. But you also had, Peyton Manning, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison who played together for 5 years,
right.
And they knew each other instinctively, and they felt like, okay, we can really go for the throat. I covered them early. They sure didn't start off doing that. It took them time to get there. It was almost more of a kill shot than it was a solution, right? So I get it. I'm kind of back to the no huddle thing, right? But calling them on the field, doing that, it's usually some pretty high-end veteran stuff who can do that in real time.
Jaguars face the Vikings. It'll be Sunday at 1 o'clock. We'll have it for you right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Always enjoy our conversation with John Osher, senior writer, Jaguars.com. All right, Trevor Lawrence, non-throwing shoulder, less than 100%. Do you believe he goes on Sunday?
Well, you asked me earlier, it seems like we're having the same conversation, right? And it just feels like the same conversation from last November and December.
Right.
Because my answer is, who knows? If it's limited, then it becomes about pain tolerance. And B, it becomes about, do they feel like at the end of the week, an unpracticed, if you will, Trevor Lawrence, is he better than Mac Jones? It's sort of the litmus test of why they brought Mac Jones in. Because last year at the end, it felt like there were times that they went Trevor because they felt like that was the best option because, C.J. Beathard is not a high-end starter. So I kind of think you wouldn't bring in Beathard unless there was a serious chance of Trevor not playing. I think there's probably a line of thinking of, hey, we saw this last year where not practicing really affected the level of play. Let's see what happens now that we have a more turnkey solution to that. But that answer, Rick, I feel like it's probably 40% right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm guessing more than I'm more than I'm confident in the answer. But that would be a school of thought that I could think come into play.
The return of Andrew Wingard Sunday.
Oh, Dewey, baby. It has to give him a lift. I mean, I think he had a chance, if he hadn't gotten hurt in training camp, to push for a serious role, maybe a starting position, because of the level of trust they have in what he brings, in his field awareness. I think he plays. I think they probably rotate him in at first because, Rick, they will rotate around here.
Yes.
But I'm being a little facetious there, but I think they would anyway with a guy coming off a knee who hasn't been in the system yet. I think you rotate him in, but I also think he can very quickly earn a big role. I don't know, and by big role, I mean starting. I mean, if they see a difference and they like what they see, I've got to believe that. I hate using this phrase because it can always get worse. But what's the harm, right? Give him a shot. You and I have talked, Rick. What this team lacks on the defense, to me, has been field awareness, going and making a play, instinct. Dewey's got all that. Maybe he's a step slower than the other guy. But put that on the field and see if you can start making football plays the way you do with Ventrell Miller.
Yeah.
And to me, they're backyard guys, right? And sometimes those guys make plays, and I think Dewey could give them that.
Well, I tell you what, Minnesota's got quite a tape to look at, both passing and 237 yards on the ground. So I imagine they're licking their chops right now. Maybe Dewey can come in and help out this football team defensively. John, always a lot of fun. Thank you. See you soon.
Rick, thank you, buddy. We'll see you soon.
There he goes. John Osher, senior writer, Jaguars.com. 237 yards rushing. Could not stop the run. Simple as that. I mean, it feels like all of my attention, all of my complaining is on the offense because they just start so ridiculously slow. And I can't get past that. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't get past that because it's the same thing every week. And it is so aggravating. I can imagine how you feel as Jaguar fans because I interact with you all the time. And, it's one thing to lose, but at least you're playing and you're in it and you may, dare I say you have a lead, right? But this is 4 straight games where you've been trailing by double digits. And I get it. A win's a win and a loss is a loss. But wouldn't it be nice even if it ends up being a loss? Because I don't think anyone picked them to win in Philly, right? Wouldn't it be nice to be up 3-0? Wouldn't it be nice to be up 10-7? To go grab another beer and sit down and be, boy, we got a ball game here. We're midway through the second quarter. Not a situation where let's go to the halftime break. It's Philadelphia 16. It's Jacksonville nothing. It's like it's the same thing every week. But there are so many more problems. I mean, this team, 3 of 10 on third down. For the year, they're 31.7. 31.7% on third down. Think of the money invested in this offense at every position. And your end result is 31.7% on third down. Trevor Lawrence in year 3 of this system. 3-1 turnovers. There's no way you win in Philly without winning the turnover battle. Okay, you get a kid off the practice squad. He fumbles it. Unforgivable, right? The fumble by Trammell. ETN, unforgivable. You got to make that grab. You got it 1st and 10 at the 13 to win it. We saw how Green Bay won it the week prior. You got a chance to win it. All the mistakes, everything you've done, you just completed a 20-yard pass to Trammell. A 22-yard pass to Trammell. You've got it 1st and 10. at the 13 with 1:42 to go. Every coach in the world runs the football. Run it. Take some time. Make Philadelphia burn timeouts. Play educated football. Play smart football. Force your opponents. Lost in all of this is if D'Ernest Johnson makes that play and comes down with the touchdown, is there one of you out there, just one would be fine, who actually believes Jacksonville mans up and makes a defensive stop? I mean, come on. That's comical. He just start the week prior. When it was good, Trevor. He drove the field, and he hit Evan Ingram. I mean, there's only a couple of players in the world who can throw that football into triple coverage, and credit Ingram for going up and making the grab. It was and look at what your defense did. So even if D'Ernest Johnson makes that reception, you and I and everyone else know that Philadelphia is going to drive the field against Jacksonville and win it. So why not play smart football? Why not run the ball? Why not take clock? Why not go high percentage passes? Make Philly burn timeouts. Set yourself up for a highly productive play. Not your third string tailback on a jump ball. And those are your 3 turnovers. Way too much 11 personnel. They should have played Brenton Strange. Brenton Strange is a guy that is not, like the premier responsibility of defensive coordinators. Keep an eye on Brenton Strange. Brenton Strange playing good football this year. You had a corner out. You had an opportunity to do some things. You had backup wide receivers. And Brenton Strange gets 9 snaps and 0 targets. He had 54 offensive. That's a failure. Doug Peterson today. Why is Sam Darnold so good? Do we have that clip? Well, listen to what Doug Peterson said earlier today when he goes to the best player, but it spoke volumes again about what Jacksonville is not doing. Here's Doug Peterson today asking about why Sam Darnold has reinvented his career.
What makes... say that, start again.
Sam Darnold's seeming to click finally this season.
Oh, yeah.
First time in his career, first round pick. Why? Why is this the time for him?
Justin Jefferson? Because you're thinking it. I think the talent around him, that helps, right? Just having the run game, the defense, the way the defense is played. He's always been a solid quarterback, and whatever team or role he's on, I just think now he's learning, maturing, and showing that he's capable of doing it, and that's what you're seeing on film. Taking care of the football. That's a big part of this thing, and yes, Justin Jefferson is obviously an elite receiver in this league that can wreak havoc on you.
Justin Jefferson, I think he had 10 receptions on Sunday for over 100 yards. Okay. Brian Thomas Jr. had 4 targets. He had 2 receptions for 22 yards. You're down Christian Kirk. You are down Gabe Davis. He had 4 targets. Now, Peterson will say that they clouded their coverage, that he wasn't open. And if you go to Minnesota's final drive on Sunday night, they did a good job against Jefferson during that last drive. They went to Addison. They ended up going to former Jaguar Josh Oliver for the game winner. There are times where they're going to cover your best player. But if you still look at the bulk of the game, 10 receptions, I think he had 13 or 14 targets. Again, Brian Thomas Jr. is arguably Jacksonville's best player already. And in a losing effort, you had this guy bunt. Instead of going up with men on base, swinging for the downs, trying to win it by hitting a 2-run, 3-run homer, you had him bunt. You didn't even attempt to get the football to Brian Thomas Jr. 4 targets. Unacceptable. I mean, if he threw a pick and it was going to Thomas, I'm not saying it would have justified it, but because you've seen every way in the world to lose around here, wouldn't that have been just a little bit easier to accept? Okay, he tried to make a play to Brian Thomas. He tried to make a play here to Dearness Johnson on first down. This is really, really, really bad coaching and really bad performance by your quarterback with the game on the line. I wish I could say it differently. I just can't. We got much more to do. We're with you tonight till 8 o'clock right here in your home of the Jags.
Let's go, defense! A good-looking defense does more than protect your zone. It can enhance your home. Hey, this is out! Hey, this is out! After the game, catch the superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game on 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Let's start the debate. Why would someone buy a new car from you? We have an exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle. We offer a competitive wow price plus free oil changes. How much will someone get for their trade? We offer more than $4,000 over KBV value. Well, we never lose a trade over price. Okay, when is the best time to buy a car? Right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter which side you pick. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, you get it all. Let us show you why we're the winning vote.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
They're out to test our reputation as the best plumber in Jacks, so we gotta play like the experts we are. Now, who are we?
Roland Reach Plumbing!
Now that's what a winner sounds like.
Customers always win with Roland Reach Plumbing at plumberinjacks.com.
This is Chelsea with Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Here's what people are saying about working with us.
Installers were professional, courteous, and efficient.
Great customer service. On time, explained the process, and walked me through the installation. Amazing team.
Our experience with Renewal by Anderson was outstanding from the beginning to end.
Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 6, 1981, Los Angeles Dodgers starting pitcher Fernando Valenzuela became the first rookie in MLB history to win the National League Cy Young Award.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. In today's world of retail, how has a store like Underwoods stayed viable against the big national stores?
Frank, that's a question with a direct answer. At Underwoods, we've never aspired to be the biggest. What we've always tried to do is be the best. When you take this approach, there's some things that come to mind immediately, like fine quality merchandise bought by buyers that are experts, high levels of service delivered by a staff that are helpful and know what they're doing. Then there's some things that people don't really think about at all. Like the finer a gem, the more rare it is. And these gems are not mass producible because they were made by God millions of years ago. Because of that, there just aren't enough of these for the big multi-store retailers to buy and put into their merchandising schemes. So at Underwoods, we buy these finer, rarer gems and create jewelry pieces that the people in Jacksonville expect out of us.
When you want the best, it's Underwoods. Underwood Jewelers in San Marco, in Avondale, and at the shops of Ponte Vedra.
In its final year, we encourage you to help create great futures for young people when you run or walk at Mackenzie's Run, Saturday, November 23rd. Join Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida for a 5K and 1 mile fun run through the beautiful stadium course at TPC Sawgrass. Enjoy food, live music, face painting, family fun, and more at our Runners Village. Register at mackenziesrun.org. Mackenzie's 5K and Fun Run, November 23rd. mackenziesrun.org.
Nick in here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
Bold City Brewery invites you to celebrate Dubs and Duval all season long with a cold pint. Enjoy all their beer, seltzer, ciders by logging on to boldcitybrewery.com. Head to the production house on Roselle Street in Riverside or Bold City downtown and be bold.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
Welcome to ABS Advanced Business Solutions, your local print management partner and home to Xerox and HP copiers.
Advanced Business Solutions.
GoABSinc.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
A couple of other stories that are out there. Ohtani today, shoulder surgery, so he had the partially torn labrum. Watching him trying to run in the World Series was an issue. We'll see. He's expected to be ready for spring training, and be interested to see if he ends up pitching again. When I was in Philly over the weekend, Joel Embiid shoved a reporter. It cost him 3 games, going to end up costing him $1 million in lost pay. And I'm actually surprised this doesn't happen more. Not necessarily around here, but certainly up east, where the media can be just ruthless, filled with contrarians. But it's going to hit him for 3 games. And I didn't totally dive into the story, but I guess he wrote something. Did Embiid lose a child?
A brother.
A brother? Okay.
So the guy in the article, he wrote in one paragraph, Embiid said he would play hard in his career for his brother who died. After his brother died or whatever, he would dedicate the rest of his career to playing hard for him or something. And then the next paragraph was he doesn't play hard at all. No. He misses all these games. So it was bad enough to where the editors changed it and took it down. And I think they took that paragraph out, or I'm not sure, but I know that they edited it somehow. But yeah, to assault somebody, obviously taking it too far. But I'm not surprised. He had to suspend him for at least a little bit. You can't just have a guy pushing around some journalist in the locker room.
I'm surprised you don't get more of it. I mean, I remember Bobby Bonilla. That was verbal. Ryan Leaf. That was verbal.
Who was the Royals manager?
Hal McRae.
Threw that phone, ended up hitting a guy in the face.
Tape recorder or whatever. Yeah. Usually there's a lot verbally that happens, and that happens all the time. But not, usually not a physical. And that's the definition of being a professional, to understand that as aggravated as you are, you can't do that. 69-49 said, "Is there a chance BTJ was banged up from last game?" Not making any excuses. If he was banged up, BTJ was better a chance to last. So, it's a very good question. It is. was he in decoy mode? Let me look at his snaps. I think he played 49 snaps in this game, and I do understand that Jacksonville was really thin at wide receiver. Let's see. Brian Thomas played 49 snaps. Parker Washington, 46. Austin Trammell, 33. Tim Jones gave you 14. Elijah Cooks gave you 3. The big omission here, and I've mentioned it a few times, is Brenton Strange only playing 9 plays. Why didn't they try to rethink that offense a little bit and go to a 1-back, 2 tight end set with 2 wide receivers instead of always being in an 11 personnel, which is 1 running back, 1 tight end, and 3 wide receivers. And when they did go into double tight, Luke Farrell played 14 offensive snaps. I think that was a major miss there with Brenton Strange. I'm sure, listen, the Brian Thomas Jr. situation went from he's out 2 to 4, right? And he's out until after the bye, to wait a minute here, there's a chance.
It's like Lagway.
Mm-hmm.
He practiced today, by the way, DJ Lagway.
I know he did. They're not going to win at Texas, but I'm telling you, man, they could play with LSU. They could play with Mississippi.
I agree.
They could, absolutely, they're going to be favored to beat Florida State. It's easy to sit here and say that, but I wouldn't put him there unless you know for sure he is close to 100%, because I think he's got a chance to win those 3 games coming up.
Yeah, and we know that injury is all about time management. And, they always say once you think the hamstring is healed, wait another week. Obviously, you can't really do that in this situation. But, yeah, you're not going to beat Texas even with Lagway 100%. So I'm with you. Just rest him this week. You don't want to rush this guy back and risk. You don't want to risk anything with this kid. He is your future.
Hamstrings heal so differently. It reminds me a little bit of last year when I went to the Florida State Duke game, and Riley Leonard had the high ankle sprain.
And they kept being like, oh, he might come back this week.
Right. And all week long it was, is he going to play? Is he going to play? And Duke actually had a lead in that game. But if you remember, they started someone else. They went to Riley Leonard, and then he re-injured the ankle.
Exactly. And that was it for the rest of their season. It was pretty much a wrap after that.
So if you're playing Texas and all of a sudden, you're down 21-3, 21-7, and I should take into consideration how hard Florida's playing. And some people believe that if he was healthy last week and stayed in the game, they knock off Georgia. Okay, they nearly knocked off Tennessee on the road. I'm crediting Florida here. This team has played really hard this year. But I still think going into Austin and winning is next to impossible. I don't feel that way about Mississippi, especially if Mississippi gets beaten by Georgia this weekend. LSU, you never really know. One week they look like the best team in America. Another week you see what Texas A&M has done to them. And they've got a huge game against Alabama. I mean, all of a sudden you knock off Mississippi and LSU and they pick up their 3rd losses. They know that the college football playoff is out. Do they give the same effort? Today's kids don't. They sit out games, whatever. Florida's got a chance in those games.
That was exactly my point. Listen, if Ole Miss loses this week, they're out of the playoff. They got 3 losses. It's not happening. And then you get some guys that start looking towards the exits. You're thinking, hey, my coach is probably going to leave too.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'm thinking about going to a different school. Why should I finish the year here and risk injury when I can go next year and play at Alabama or Miami or Florida with my head coach?
Right.
So, yeah, that's a huge possibility if they lose this weekend.
Right. Because if he re-injures, the hammy, then he's out.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if Ole Miss calls it a day. You're still not going to beat a half Ole Miss team with that Yale kid at quarterback.
I mean, if you were to look at it as far as the degree of difficulty, I'm like looking at Texas as like 100%. And then that drops off drastically for the reasons that JJ and I just gave when you have LSU and Mississippi. Florida State is incredibly winnable. I mean, that's still a rivalry game. And even though it really feels like this is a toilet. You know, you've heard forever, you throw the records out the window. Both teams can be 1-10, 1-11, whatever. It really feels that way this year. That game still means an awful lot for both programs. And right now, no one's going to pick Florida State. I mean, everyone's going to pick Florida. But if Lagway re-injures that hamstring and can't go, then, there's at least a puncher's chance for Florida State. With a healthy Lagway, there's no chance at all. Lagway's by far the best player.
Imagine you guys going into that game with the better quarterback.
No?
It could happen.
1201 says the Gators definitely could beat Texas with 100% Lagway. And the way they were putting the Bulldogs last week. Well, I referenced that. They were playing well. Did we believe that was going to stay that way for 60 minutes or Georgia was going to wake up?
I also think Texas at home is different than Georgia and Jacksonville.
Right, and we saw what Georgia did to Texas there.
Yeah,
but
of course.
Still, I like Texas. It's by far the most difficult of the 4 games that do remain. And you got quality teams. I mean, look at the rankings. Texas is 5, LSU is 14, Mississippi 16. You have 3 real quality games. But losing, that's the thing if I'm a Gator fan. I know you don't want to I know you never want to root for Georgia. But in this situation, you want Georgia to beat Mississippi. You want Bama to knock off LSU. It used to be maybe you play harder the next week. It's not that way anymore. These kids quit. These kids are looking towards their future. You may see that these kids are sitting out, and it's amazing how the landscape has changed in college football. You absolutely want Georgia and Alabama to knock off Mississippi and LSU. Coming up next, let's check the numbers. We go to Las Vegas for my bookie. It's Rafael Esparza.
If you want more action,
woo! It's Smash Mouth football, baby.
Tom McManus.
Fridays 10 to noon on Jaguars Today.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione. Campione Law.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives, focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners. Financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Pick in here with a message from Zero Res. You gotta just love this time of the year as we reflect on the things that matter most. Families, homes, the holidays, and of course football. They're very grateful for you, all the good people of Jacksonville, and they want to thank you. So get ready for the holidays. Book today, and Zero Res will clean your carpets for only $49 a room. Plus, they'll give you 25% off your tile cleaning. This one fills up fast, so book now on both carpet and tile. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Get more Gators on the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Friday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL's Gator Bites podcast wherever you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com.
I'm living proof that with Rebound Rehab, you can bounce back and get back in the game. Joe C. for Rebound Rehabilitation, and they helped me recover from an ankle injury that had me down and out. Their team of physical therapists ensure you'll get the best treatment you need to recover and regain mobility. From back, shoulder, and neck pain to a nagging knee or arthritis, Rebound Rehab can help form a game plan through therapy and exercise, complete with an app so you can continue to recover at home. Check out reboundrehab.com. 8 convenient locations.
Hacker here. By now, you've probably heard I dropped over 100 pounds with Awaken 180. And now we want you to come celebrate with me at Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra for a Florida-Texas watch party. Saturday the 9th. Yep, we'll celebrate my weight loss with great food at a Gator watch party. And for a chance for you and a guest to win a free tab at my table, text the word Chubby to the 1010XL text line at 641-1010. Plus, I'll have ticket giveaways and more fun at Mr. Chubby's in Ponte Vedra.
If you're about to order a floral arrangement for someone you love, then take it from me, 1010XL's JJ LaSalva. Use Kuhn Flowers. That's right, Kuhn Flowers. For over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers gets it done right.
How many times a day does your heart beat? The answer coming up.
With hurricane season now here, the only weather you need to be concerned about is whether your homeowner's insurance policy will cover you in the event of storm damage. Ask about Southern Oak Insurance today.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
At a rate of 60 beats a minute, your heart beats about 86,000 times a day. So it'd be wise to take good care of it.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Swammin, when was the last time that you cleaned your air ducts?
Dad, I manage the air duct cleaning at Zero Res. Trust me, my ducts are cleaner than the plates after Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, I hope so, but it's not just you I'm thinking of. Everyone in Jacksonville should get their air ducts cleaned before the holidays.
You're right. Even though we don't blast the heat like up north, we still trap dust and allergens when the windows stay shut. All that gunk just recirculates through your home and makes your air quality worse.
So you're saying Zero Res air duct cleaning keeps my air fresh and ready for my holiday guests?
Exactly. Clean ducts means cleaner air, just in time for Thanksgiving. Plus, we've got a November special running right now. Call Zero Res today and we'll give you $50 off. No more dust, just fresh, clean air for you and your family this holiday season.
Sounds good, son. Now, how about that family discount?
We'll see, Dad.
Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com or call now. Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Hey, Icken here for Prize Pick. Download the app today and use code JAX, J-A-X, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, man. Run your game.
Jacksonville Koozies. It's me, Soccer Sam from Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizzeria is now open in Jacksonville, Florida. Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. $10 daily deals, dine-in beer and wine, and delivery. Salvatore's.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Rafael Esparza, mybookie.org, after a very busy Wednesday. All right, any idea total money spent on this year's presidential election?
Have not figured. We have not gotten the final figures yet, but I know it was. I know it was more than the last election that came in.
Okay, and the last election was, I don't want to quote you, but 10 times more than any sporting event, including the Super Bowl.
Yes, because this year we actually did. We actually accepted parlays with the election, and then we had more state and house betting options this year. So we looped them. They're all going to be looped into one category as presidential election, even though there were Senate races and other stuff in there.
Anything that surprised? Did you do the popular vote?
Yes, and we cleaned up on that one.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know many who had the popular vote. They just assumed that would go the other way. Was there anything particularly with swing states where it went completely opposite of what you expected as far as the money at the window?
It did. I mean, I think Pennsylvania, late money, Democratic money came in late, that it was almost a small favorite. But then actually I got the figures this afternoon with the voters and all that, and the voters pretty much told everyone that, hey, the minority vote wasn't there for blue, and when it was there, they went the other side. So I was a little bit shocked on that aspect. And the female vote was not there for Kamala, and the female vote that did not vote last election voted for Trump. That just tells me that they didn't want a female president.
Do you, just offhand, whether it was the summer or, I don't know when you first posted it, what was the best winning hand? I know you told us, it got to Trump like 150, 160, but was there a point where he was really trailing and you got plus money and someone really cleaned up?
Oh, yeah, there was a lot. There was a couple of times we had Trump, I think, at plus 125, plus 130 throughout the summer and all that. I, myself, don't tell the bosses, I had a plus 125 ticket that cashed. But, so there were some nice plus money tickets out there. But as everyone before the blue wall, when they did not go blue last night, we were getting so much Harris money when we were moving Trump to $3 favorite, $4 favorite, because they didn't announce the blue wall was still blue at that time. But when the wall fell down, that's when we cleaned up.
Interesting. Rafael Esparza, MyBookie, mybookie.org. All right, let's get to the college football game this Saturday. Georgia going to LSU. What's it looked like so far this week?
Well, it's Bama going
Ole Miss.
to LSU.
Oh, I'm sorry. Georgia going to Ole Miss. My bad.
It's pretty much Georgia money coming in. It's going to be very interesting what some of these SEC teams that feel disrespected with the first rankings coming out. Do they pump it all in and just go in for style points now? So it's going to be very interesting with the Georgias, the Ohio States, the LSUs, the Bamas. I'm very curious what teams feel like disrespected. Do they pump in style points this weekend?
Yeah. Bama is favored. I saw a number today that the last 4 head coaches at Alabama lost their first game against LSU. You got to go to Gene Stallings in 1990. Nonetheless, pretty even money so far in this game?
Joe Public on Bama. Wise guys right now, very small on LSU. I think it's going to continue coming in LSU money. I agree with them. I thought it should have been like maybe a 2-point favorite, not a full field goal. So I'm leaning towards LSU. And they're playing Saturday night in Baton Rouge. Come on.
Oh, no doubt. Hey, where are you as far as Heisman money at this point?
We don't need Hunter to win right now. I just think as week comes to week, and talk about election season, what he did on game day was probably brilliant for him. Hey, you have an off week, let's go on college game day and pump yourself up. Very smart for Travis Hunter to do that.
Used to be a trend. We kind of went through a cycle, even though the Heisman is announced before the national championship game, that it was a quarterback either in the game or who won the game. Last year, Jaden Daniels, best player in the country, but I think LSU lost 4 games. Travis Hunter in Colorado could very easily lose 4 games. So that's kind of a new trend that we're witnessing.
It is, but even if Colorado only loses 4 games, it's much improved than they were supposed to win. So they're playing on fool's money right now. So I got to give hats off. I can't believe I'm going to say this to Deion Sanders and his coaching staff for what he's done so far in the Big 12. But it's going to be very interesting. I just don't. Give it to the guy from Boise State. Granted, he's not going to have the numbers that he was having it, but he's the best player in college football is him right now.
Well, as a Heisman Trophy voter that I am, I certainly have him on my radar. Let's wrap it up with right here in Duval. What's the latest on the Jaguars hosting the Vikings?
The money's coming in the Jaguars a little bit, but I think that will switch when it gets closer to the weekend. What Minnesota did last week, I thought that was very impressive. I think Minnesota money comes in. So if you like the Jags, wait. You'll probably get a better number on Saturday.
Give us the very latest, please, Rafael, on MyBookie, mybookie.org.
I just want a nap. That's what I want over at MyBookie right now. But we have UFC this weekend. I can't believe we have Tyson and Jake Paul next weekend. We have college basketball started, NBA, NHL, my UFC that had a big factor in maybe the presidential election. So it's just a great weekend of finally just sports.
Rafael, get a nap in. Thank you as always. Have a great weekend.
Take it easy. Have a great weekend.
Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Rafael must be thinking Ballou needs a nap. He just told me to have a great weekend, and it's a Wednesday. But, hey, I'm always looking ahead, and that's a good thing. A bad thing could be Trevor Lawrence, the non-throwing shoulder. Today, he was limited, just no understanding as to whether or not he is going to be able to give it a go. Sunday against Minnesota, we know he had 5 different injuries a year ago. One of the reasons why they went out and brought in Mac Jones, they think he can win football games if Trevor is injured. So that'll be a huge story, which we will monitor tonight and certainly Thursday and Friday.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
Trevor Lawrence gives them the best chance to win. No one's going to argue with that. But where this team is and how they've struggled coming out to play football in the first quarter, first half, would you just as soon see Mac Jones under center?
Yeah, it's interesting because at 2-7, yes. I mean, it's not like a must-win situation. You don't want to hurt Trevor any worse than he already is. A lot of parallels between the Jaguars and the Gators in a lot of different regards. 2 coaches on the hot seat, 2 coaches that need to win games. Do you rush DJ Lagway back if you're Florida for the last game or 2, or do you kind of sit him out for the year? What does it really, help you to play him at this point? And kind of the same thing with Trevor. I mean, Trevor's getting paid to play, so when he's healthy enough to play, he should play. But if he's not healthy enough, I mean, if they were 5-4, and if this was a game that could determine first place in the AFC South, well, that's one thing. But they're not. They're 2-7.
Yeah.
And they're 4 games out of the division lead. I don't know if you're more prone to sit your quarterback down at that point to make sure he's healthy for, the Detroit or Houston games down the road.
Dewey Wingard is going to return. He's going to give an emotional lift to this secondary. Hopefully they can put him closer to the box and prevent Minnesota from rushing for 237 yards the way that Philadelphia just did.
Well, at this point, nothing could hurt. Nothing could hurt the defense, particularly the secondary. So I'm all for it. We'll see what happens. But the interesting dynamic of Cam Robinson returning on Sunday is fascinating. And then Sam Darnold, I was thinking about this earlier. I think the last time he started a game here was the game after the Ghost comment on Monday Night Football.
Really?
Remember when he was with the Jets and they were playing the Ghostbusters theme at Everbank Stadium? How far has Sam Darnold come since that moment where he was just a laughingstock with Ghostbusters being played because of him, and now he's probably the comeback player of the year in the NFL?
We have seen comeback stories. Goff, Baker. Now you mentioned Darnold. Baker still leads the NFL in touchdown passes, even though he's got his 2-star wide receivers on the shelf.
I'd take Baker over Trevor Lawrence right now.
I think a lot of people would. Joe Flacco, I know. I mean, he's back in, so we're seeing a lot of that around the league. All right, what else is up tonight?
Yeah, we're going to talk with Leon Searcy about the Jaguars. That comes up in just a bit. Mark Wise of ESPN, talk a little college basketball as the season is underway. A little college football as well. We're with you till 10 o'clock. We're happy to be here.
All right. Have a good show, Hackett.
Thanks, Rick.
I did not get an opportunity to respond to all of you tonight in the text line. We were just too busy. I try. I do. And I appreciate you being involved with the show. We'll try it again tomorrow, and I will be with you 6 until 8. Thank you to John Osher. Thank you to Rafael Esparza. For J.J. LaSelva, my name is Rick Ballou. We're back tomorrow, 6 to 8, right